Hello, Year 3. I hope you have had a lovely day so far, and I hope you really enjoyed our lesson yesterday. Today we're going to be concentrating on the same story. We're going to be using different skills though today. So for today, our focus is learning about how to use verbs and conjunctions within our writing and even recognising them in somebody else's writing. So, to start off, I want you to grab a piece of paper. I want you to get your pencil ready or your pen ready, and I would like you to jot down anything that you can remember about our story. You could make this into a story map if you'd like to. You could make this into a spider diagram. You can lay it out however you'd like to. So I want you to ask yourself these questions. What can you remember from our story? What characters have we been introduced to? And what kind of sounds would we have heard if we were there when the Iron Man fell off a cliff? So pause the video now and I'd like you to complete that, please. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you for doing that for me. I'm looking forward to seeing those. So from our story, what I can remember is that the Iron Man was listening to the sound of the sea, and he was walking towards the sea, and the next thing he knew, he was on the edge of a cliff. He lifted his foot up and out, and down he fell off the edge of the cliff, and his body pieces all came apart and they scattered across the beach. And we knew that the Iron Man was the only person there. Wow, I wonder what happens next. Let's listen.
Only one of the iron hands, lying beside an old, sand-logged, washed-up seaman's boat, waved its fingers for a minute, like a crab on its back. Then it lay still. While the stars went on wheeling through the sky, and the wind went on tugging at the grass on the cliff top, and the sea went on boiling and booming. Nobody knew the Iron Man had fallen. Night passed. Just before dawn, as the darkness grew blue and the shapes of the rocks separated from each other, two seagulls flew crying over the rocks. They landed on a patch of sand. They had two chicks in a nest on the cliff. Now they were searching for food. One of the seagulls flew up. He had seen something. He glided low over the sharp rocks. He landed and picked something up. Something shiny, round and hard. It was one of the Iron Man's eyes. He brought it back to his mate. They both looked at this strange thing. And the eye looked at them. It rolled from side to side, looking first at one gull and then at the other. The gulls, peering at it, thought it was a strange kind of clam, peeping at them from its shell. Then the other gull flew up, wheeled around and landed and picked something up. Something awkward, something heavy. The gull flew low and slowly, dragging the heavy thing. And finally, the gull dropped it beside the eye. This new thing had 5 legs. It moved. The gulls thought it was a strange kind of crab. They thought they had found a strange crab and a strange clam. They did not know they had found the Iron Man's eye and the Iron Man's right hand. But as soon as the eye and the hand got together, the eye looked at the hand. Its light glowed blue. The hand stood up on 3 fingers and its thumb, and craned a forefinger like a long nose. It felt around. It touched the eye. Gleefully, it picked it up and tucked it under its middle finger. The eye peered out between the forefinger and thumb. Now the hand could see. It looked around. Then it darted and jabbed one of the gulls with its stiffly held finger, then darted at the other and jabbed him. The 2 gulls flew up into the wind with a frightened cry. Slowly, then the hand crept over the stones, searching. It ran forward suddenly, grabbed something and tugged. But the thing was stuck between two rocks. The thing was one of the Iron Man's arms. At last the hand left the arm and went scuttling hither and thither among the rocks till it stopped and touched something gently. This thing was the other hand. This new hand stood up and hooked its finger round the little finger of the hand with the eye and let itself be led. Now the two hands, the seeing one leading the blind one, walking on their fingertips, went back together to the arm, and together they tugged it free. The hand with the eye fastened itself onto the wrist of the arm. The arm stood up and walked on its hand. The other hand clung on behind as before, and this strange trio went searching. An eye! There it was, blinking at them, speechlessly, beside a black and white pebble. The seeing hand fitted the eye to the blind hand, and now both hands could see.
Fantastic. So I'm really glad that you were listening to that really carefully. Fantastic. So what I'd like to talk about first, before we move on to our task, is what is a verb? I wonder whether you know what a verb is. A verb is an action word, so it's something that we can do. So here you can see some pictures that I've put up. The boy is sleeping. We've got someone eating. Those are verbs. So sleep, eat, run, cycle. Those are all different kinds of words. So there's something that you do. A verb is an action word. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds again. Find a piece of paper. We're going to do this really super speedy. Can't wait to see who's the fastest at writing your verbs. So, are you ready? On your marks, get set, go. As many words as you can on that piece of paper. Keep going. Think about your favourite thing to do. Maybe think about all the things that you do throughout the day. Oh, we're nearly there. 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. I'd love to hear how many verbs you got within those 30 seconds. Fantastic. You could have come up with things like writing, or to write, to fly, to drink, to cut, to stand, to sit, to run. Lots of different kind of verbs that you could have had there. Fantastic. So I want us to talk about different kinds of verbs first. So we've got, like I said, the girl runs, the boy sleeps, the girl cycles, and the boy eats. Now, there's something that we haven't talked about before. And these are called conjunctions. Can anyone tell me what conjunction is? Have a think. Maybe some of those words on the screen might help you out. A conjunction is used to link two different sentences together. So if I was to say, I have a dog, that's one sentence. His name is Max. That's another sentence. But I could use a conjunction in the middle of those two sentences to join them together. So I could use the conjunction and, couldn't I? I have a dog and his name is Max. Can you see how I used that conjunction to add that second sentence to your sentence? Just makes it a little bit longer. But you could use but, or, yet, if, for. So let's look at some examples. I really like the beach, but I don't like sand in my sandwiches. I use the conjunction but in that one. Let's have a look at a sentence together. I really love picking flowers, but I'm not allowed to. I used that but as a conjunction then as well. I used a verb, picking, and I used a conjunction to add to my sentence. Fantastic. Right, I've got a little game for you. I'd like us to play I Spy. So I'm going to say I spy with my little eye. I can see and I might say a verb or a conjunction, or I might even say a noun, which we were looking at yesterday. You're going to have a look through this paragraph to see if you can find those things. So I'll read this paragraph to you very quickly. Only one of the iron hands laying beside the old sand log washed up Seaman's boat waved his finger for a minute like a crab on its back. Then it lay still while while the stars went on wheeling through the sky and the wind went on tugging at the grass on the cliff top, and the sea went on boiling and booming. Nobody knew the Iron Man had fallen. Night passed. Okay, so I spy with my little eye. I can see a conjunction. Did you find one? There are lots of conjunctions in this one. There are ands in between words. Let's have a look at those ands. There's that and for you. You could have used lots of different things on this one. Waved his finger for a minute. There's that and conjunction. I spy with my little eye. I can see a verb. Can you spot one? I can see laying. Laying is an action, to lay down. So that is a verb. Fantastic. Let's see if you can do another one. I spy with my little eye. I can see a noun. Did you spot one? There are lots of nouns. Look. Fingers. Nobody is a noun. Grass is another noun. Let's see if you can spot any more of those verbs. I spy with my little eye. I can see a verb. Can you see one? I wonder if you can spot this one. Tugging. Tugging is an action, isn't it? Tugging is something that we can do. So that is a verb. Fantastic. I wonder. Let's do one more. I spy with my little eye. Something I can see is another verb. Did you spot another one? There's a verb here, fallen. Fallen is an action. And that is going to be our last verb for today. Super duper spot in year 3. Fantastic. So your challenge for today, I've put this a little bit differently to what I did yesterday. So for today, you're going to start by having a look through the Iron Man's diary. And I want you to see if you can spot the verbs and the conjunctions. A little bit similar to what we did yesterday. You could get a highlighter, you could get a pen, you could get whatever you like. I want you to recognise those verbs. If you see a verb, I want you to put a V next to it. And if you see a conjunction, I just want you to put a C next to it. That would be fantastic. Then, when you've finished that and you'd like to challenge yourself, I want you to think about different nouns that might be within that text as well. And maybe you could have a look at the different pronouns and the common nouns that you can see within the text. And then I'll be really, really impressed if you get this far. But if you think, oh, I need an extra challenge, I would like you to write 2 sentences for me. And I would like you to recognise the nouns, the verbs, and the conjunctions that you've used in that sentence. So you might want to write your sentences out first and then go with a highlighter or your favourite pencil or your favourite pen and show me where those verbs and those conjunctions and those nouns are. Fantastic. Year 3, I can't wait to see your work. There was some fantastic work yesterday. I'm really looking forward to see what you come up with today. So off you go.